Hello everyone, my name is WingofFire2255 and today I'm going to be trying something different. I know I said that I wouldn't go on a hiatus again, but I did anyways. Sorry about that, but I had a lot going on. I had school to work with and all of that stuff. But today Today I'm going to be doing a little story time because I felt like it. And I've actually been doing a lot of things. I have made a few more friends, and we have a D&D campaign. I will say that this D&D campaign is very chaotic, and there is some swearing in it, but that is kind of what happens whenever it is that you're playing with people who are somewhat more mature. I say somewhat as I end up being one of the most mature people in the group, and kind of end up being the idiot babysitter. Sorry for the long intro, but time to get into it. I'm not sure what it is I'll be having going on in the background at the moment, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a video of me doing Minecraft stuff. For context, I started a D&D campaign back in the beginning of August with a few of my friends that I met online over the summer. And it was very fun. We started scheduling when it is that we'd have the campaign, what times, dates, all of that. So far, we have everything set up for every other Saturday, unless it is that people aren't able to make it. So, I'm going to start out today's episode with first just going over some of the characters that are there. So, in this campaign, we're a party of 7. So, this campaign, we are a party of 7. Well, we started as a party of 8, but we'll get into that. So, the 7 people in the party is Bulls, the Halfling fighter, D'Angelo, a Tiefling Warlock, Maiko, a Tiefling Druid, Peppermint, I think she's a human Paladin, maybe? Tamegar, the variant human Artificer, Urail, the Drow bard, and then finally my character, Taka, the Dragonborn Paladin. I'll get into every other sort of little details as I go. So I'm going to start off with session 0, where we were planning out our characters, and I'll tell you the setting. The setting of this campaign is it's a pirate campaign. It's a pirate ship themed campaign. And in this campaign, we are all on a pirate ship as a pirate crew. Now, I'm going to mention a couple different NPC characters throughout the adventure, throughout the videos. I'm going to make this into a series if it does well. Okay, sorry for rambling, but I am going to be mentioning several different characters, and I do not remember their names, or if some of them even had names, but I will give them names myself if I do not remember. So we were part of a much larger pirate crew, and we were sailing across the seas. This is exposition stuff that we didn't actually roleplay in the campaign, but still. We were on a large ship, and we were sailing across the seas with our whole entire crew of probably, I'm guessing, around 20-something people. I don't know how many people it'd take to, man a ship, but I'm guessing 20 or something. And so we are sailing along, and all of a sudden we get attacked by a merchant ship, or what we thought was a merchant ship. And we had done trade with these sorts of merchanty people in the past. And lo and behold, apparently a mutiny had gotten started in this time frame. Now, while none of our characters that we were playing were washed up in the mutinies that was happening while we were being attacked by this supposed merchant ship, in quotations. No, merchant ship? Yeah, by the supposed merchant ship, as our DM tells us. And so our DM continues explaining, and he says that we had one person join while we were in the middle of a set, like already kind of taken off a bit, and we had a person leave after the first session. So we were technically going to be a group of 8, but another person had to leave. And so our DM had explained that during this battle, some of our fellow crew members were killed, others were taken hostage by these supposed merchants, I say with heavy quotations, and the rest of us barely managed to escape with our captain, I'm just gonna call, Skinny Beard. I know, a very thought out name. I didn't remember if it is that our captain even had a name. The DM just said that just called him our old captain, and I'm like, so, I get the names mixed up. But yes, our actual captain, the good captain, we're gonna call him Skinny Beard. And so we managed to escape on the ship with Skinny Beard. With our captain, Skinny Beard. Our ship, I don't know the name of our ship or if it even has a name. But yes, our ship is barely holding it together, and we're surprised it can still float, much less sail. And so we, being the smaller and lighter ship, after having chucked most of the stuff off of the ship, managed to sail away and escape. And this is where it is that we actually start having actual action happen and player interactions here. And so we all manage to, and so our ship manages to pull into a town on an island. Or I think it's an island? Yeah, I think. We managed to pull into a town on a sort of island. Or it's like a sea town. Wait, no. It's not an island. It is a, what's it called? A port town? I don't know. It's a town with a port, and it's on the sea. But it's on the beach. And so we pull into this town, and our captain, Skinny Beard, he's not looking too good, but at this point in the campaign, we're like, yeah, he should be fine, right? Yeah. And so, we make, what's it called? We make land with this sea town, and a person walks over to our ship and waves at our captain, Skinny Beard. I do not remember what this person was called, or if our DM said they had a name. But I'm just gonna call him Fixie Ship. And so Fixie, as I'm gonna just call him as a nickname. And so, yes, Captain Skinny Beard, he waves to Fixie Ship from the ship and goes over and talks to him a little bit. Fixie Ship and Skinny Beard have apparently known each other for a very long time, and Skinny Beard has taken our ship to Fixie whenever it is that it was needing repairs. And so, we overhear Fixie saying, "Oh, yes, I will fix it up I will fix your ship up a little bit, that way it doesn't sink in the harbor, but I will need payment before I can start the rest of the repairs, so that way it can sail." And so, Captain Skinnybeard says alright and stuff, and Fixie then names the price. Because it is that you are a good friend of mine and a loyal customer, it will only be a small fine of 3,000 gold. Hearing this from the ship, we're all kind of like, okay, this won't be that bad, right? This 3,000 gold isn't that much, right? Oh boy, we were wrong about that. But it's fine. And so the captain comes back on the ship. And so Skinnybeard comes back onto the ship and goes into his quarters and grabs a backpack full of things. At this time, we currently do not know what's in the backpack, but we are bound to find out at some point. Skinnybeard's looking a little rough. My character and everyone else notices that. And so when we get down, we all get off the ship, including Skinnybeard. I forgot to mention that our ship has a cook, a retired level 20 tabaxi fighter named Aristocat. I'm not going to give you context for why we have Aristocat or who Aristocat is, or I won't explain the joke either. But yes, we have a level 20 retired fighter tabaxi named Aristocat. He is our cook. We love him dearly. Yes. Skinnybeard tells Aristocat just to watch the ship and that Fixie will be starting on repairs. And so our crew of currently 7 at this time, because the member who joins later wasn't there yet. And so we all get off. Our crew of 7 gets off the ship first. Skinnybeard is the last one to get off the ship. I'll describe this to you in the best of detail I can. So we're all standing on the dock, looking around, taking in our surroundings. We then look back at Skinnybeard, who's coughing a little bit and seeming a bit more woozy or something than normal. And so we simply watch him and make sure that he's going to be fine getting off the ship. He sort of like hops off the ship. His feet touch the ground and he falls flat on his face and dies. Yeah, it seems like Skinnybeard was dying, and none of us knew this, or did anything. Urail, our Tiefling bard, who I will explain in a little bit, she gets down and kneels next to the captain, just starts kind of wailing, and we're like, oh, shoot. Oh, dear, what do we do? He's dead. We all kind of look at this, we all kind of look at the body at our feet and stare at it for like a good 15 seconds before I think it was me or D'Angelo, pipe up and say, let's just bury this guy, is probably what he would have wanted anyways. And so we all go to the local funeral home, have him buried, have a brief little funeral, and then we go to the tavern to have a drink and calm ourselves and figure out what the heck to do. Before it is that we had taken Skinnybeard to the funeral home to be buried, may he rest in peace, we took the backpack and we went into the local tavern to have a drink and sort of figure out what to do. Since we had a bit of a predicament, we couldn't go anywhere as our ship was surprisingly floating somehow and not at the bottom of the harbor already. And so we deduced that our ship was not, it's barely floating on its own, we don't think it's ready or even relatively close to being able to sail. I mean, with the condition it's in, we're surprised that it managed to get to sail to the harbor. Okay, yes, we are all sitting at a table at the tavern, and we're trying to figure out what to do. Since we need money to fix the ship, and we need to figure out who is going to be the next captain. But we don't figure that out here and now. No. That, we don't figure that out till, which session was it? Session 3. This is session 1. We don't know who's we don't figure out who's captain until, like, let me see here. We don't figure out who to make captain for 4 weeks. 4. We're not very smart, okay? I mean, the DM even said in session 0, when looking at all of our stats put together, that he'd have to lower the difficulty of the level 1 encounters so none of us would die. We're trying to figure out what to do now, since we do not have a captain, we do not have a job, we have a bag of stuff that we haven't even looked through, and each other. With this in mind, I think it was me. Was it me? No, wait. No, it was Bulls. Bulls, who has the lowest intelligence out of all of us, this will come into play later, who has the lowest intelligence out of all of us, picks up the bag that holds all of the captain's stuff that he gave us. And so he, being his little halfling self, dumps everything that was in the bag onto the wooden table that we're all sitting around at the tavern. Thankfully, nothing breaks. That would be very sad if stuff did break. But, yeah, nothing breaks, thank the Lord. Okay, so in the bag, what comes tumbling out of it is 3 potions of lesser healing, 1 scroll of revivify, which comes in hand, which is a surprise tool that will help us later, and then 1 scroll with a spell of fireball, another tool that would surprisingly help us later. So we all look at the stuff that has been dumped on the table and divide it amongst ourselves. We give Maiko 1 of the potions of lesser... Actually, you know, I should actually take this time while we're still here to... No. We give Maiko the Tiefling Druid, who is a mother of 2. We give her 1 of the potions of lesser healing to keep with her, and then we give the other 2 to Bulls, our little halfling fighter. We distribute those. D'Angelo holds the scroll of fireball, and... Oh wait, it was Bulls who also had the scroll of revivify. And so we have those items. Now, we're all sitting around this table. We have D'Angelo, the high charisma Tiefling Warlock. Decent man. I don't remember all of the details about his character, but he's kind of there. He's very useful. We have Tamegar, the variant human Asmar. He is one of the oldest in the group. Well, yeah, technically he is one of the oldest in the group at age 57. This man could have children, but he doesn't. He is paranoid and has the background of a haunted one. He has trauma with where he accidentally was it burned down his parents' house and killed them. I think that's what it was. And so, yeah, he's a bit traumatized. He'll be fine. Then we have Bulls. Did I already mention him? No. We have Bulls, our halfling fighter. He has the lowest intelligence out of all of us. And so to make up for this, he owns a parrot, who we lovingly call Fish Feathers. Fish Feathers has one skill known as mimicry. Wait, was it mimicry? Yes, it was mimicry. The skill of mimicry is very limited, but the entity will repeat 4 words of your choosing and is able to understand people's names and where to go. This helps us later. A lot of this stuff comes in handy later. But yes, we got Bulls and Fish Feathers. Then we have Maiko, our Tiefling Druid, who is a mother of 2. I do not remember her age, but that's fine. Yes, she is a mother of 2, very responsible, often feeling as if she is idiot babysitter number 2. Then we have Sunny Bosco, who is a half-elf rogue with crippling alcoholism, but we don't pay attention to him too much. He doesn't do much in the next session or 2. No, yeah, he doesn't do much in the next session. And then we then have Urail, the drow bard with memory issues. Was it short term? Yeah. We have the drow bard with short-term memory loss. Her character is the age of 112, calculating that into drow years, since they age much like elves. She is a child at around the age of 12. And she carries a rock with her named Mary. She likes the rock a lot. And then finally we have my character, Taka, a bronze lightning dragon paladin who I'm kind of going with worships some sort of god of lightning. I won't elaborate too much on backstory since that's not super important at this point in time, but it's fine. So, while it is that we are back to the storyline, while it is that we are in the tavern, we get up, it was Bulls and Urail who get up and go talk to the bartender, trying to ask and see if there was any, jobs or anything that needed to be looted or needed to be done or taken care of. And so they go ask the bartender, who first motions to a tip jar, sort of implying that he will give informations for a light tip. The tip jar is filled with silver and copper coins. Us having currently only gold coins to our name, Bulls puts in 1 gold coin into the jar. The bartender looks at the gold coin in the jar, looks at Bulls, looks at Urail, looks at us who are still at the table, kind of trying to process everything. Hands back the gold coin and instead, takes the gold coin but gives Bulls change instead and deposits 1 of the silver coins into the jar. I do not remember the conversion rates exactly, but I think it was 10 silver pieces to a gold coin. Yeah. And so he puts 1 of the silver coins into the jar and hands Bulls the other 9. And so they start talking, and the bartender, I'm going to What do we call the bartender? I could call the bartender Tipsy McGee. You know, calling the bartender Tipsy McGee. So the bartender who we're calling Tipsy McGee, he starts talking to Urail and Bulls. They are talking, and Bulls and Urail learn and share the information that they gained from Tipsy. And so they come back to us and they say that Tipsy McGee told them about a mansion up on a hill not too far from the town. Wait, not on a hill, up on a cliff. Yeah, a mansion up on a cliff not too far from the town. An old man who we're gonna call Crazy Boy. He overhears us talking about the mansion and calls us over. We walk over to Crazy Boy and he tells us a bit of information regarding the mansion. I roll for investigation and deduce that what the information that the man is telling us, a good portion of it is true, while some of it is a bit of an over-exaggeration. Crazy Boy tells us that there's treasure, old wine, and a bunch of other stuff in the mansion, but also attempts to convince us that the mansion is haunted, that the mansion is also inhabited by vampires. And so, I hear this, me being smart-ish, I take back what I said about me being smart-ish. I forgot that I have an intelligence modifier of 0. And so Taka is a bit dumb, but he still manages to deduce and figure out that the majority of the information that we're being told is true, except for the vampires. That seems a bit far-fetched. And so with this information, we deduce that, yeah, it should be safe enough to go over to this mansion and go explore. So we make our way up to the mansion. It was to the north. Yeah. It was to the north about 300. It was like decently close. So yeah, we go up the cliff, no problems, and we manage to make it to the front of the mansion. We open the front door, and it is, we're like climbing the cliff / hillside up to the mansion, and we realize something. It's dark. Not all of us can see in the dark. Urail, being the drow, is the only one who can see extremely well. Like, she can see pretty much everything because she has superior dark vision. Was it 120 feet of dark vision? Which is 120 feet radius of dark vision. So yeah, she can see literally everything, while the rest of us are not able to see a thing. And so Tamegar, our lovely Artificer, he uses one of his spells and picks up a pebble from the road. And he makes it glow, producing a light source so the rest of us can see. We call this the Holy Illuminated Rock, when it's really just a regular pebble that we picked up off the road that glows. So yes, us carrying the Holy Illuminated Rock makes it where we can kind of see. And so we are walking up to the mansion, following Urail and using the light of the holy glowing rock to see. We get to the front door and we go in. The mansion has several rooms, has a stairway going up, and 3 hallways shooting off to other sections. One hallway is shooting directly in front of us. That one hallway is shooting off to straight ahead, another is off to the right, and another one is off to the left. And so we do the thing that most D&D campaigns and parties recommend, most D&D groups recommend that you do not do. We split the party. Which, the times that we do actually split the party, it doesn't go terribly. I mean, yeah, stuff happens, but it doesn't go terribly. And we, don't all die. And so we are doing our own little thing, and we split the party into 3 groups. Wait, what? No. Wait, 3 or 2? 2. Yes, 2 groups. We split the party into 2 groups. Let me, did I write this down already? Oh, wait. Yes. I did. So, yeah, we split the party into 2 groups. My group, one group consisted of Taka, Urail, Taka, Tamegar, Bulls, and Maiko. The other group contained Sunny, D'Angelo, and Urail. My group, the group of 4, we go down the hallway straight in front of us, while the group of 3 goes off to the right. As we move down the hallway straight in front of us, we manage to find a room that we're a bit suspicious of. Because the room, it starts, there's noises underneath the floorboards. There's noises underneath the floorboards, and we're all a little bit jumpy. We're like, oh dear, what's that? And so we roll another investigation check. Us, being 4 of us, get a decent score, and we deduce that there is indeed something under us that seems to be alive and making a sort of scratching sound, like something like that. Nah, more like something like that. Something like this. But yes, something below us is making a scratching noise, and we're a bit concerned. Cue back to the 3 who went down the hallway. Now, I don't exactly know 100% what happened with these guys, but from what I can tell is that they were doing pretty well and made their way to a dining room of sorts. And they're looking around the dining room a little bit when they discover some bandits. Or what we think are bandits. We were pretty sure at the time that they were indeed bandits. And so they encounter these bandits and decide to fight them. Because, violence, I guess. And so they fight these bandits. Flashback to us. Flashback to the group of 4. We find another room that branches off of the room we are currently in. It branches off to the left. And so we go into that room and discover a little hatch that leads downwards, it seems. Downwards, we think it leads downwards, but we're not 100% sure. And so, us being ourselves, we go in and we discover, and we find ourselves in what looks sort of like a wine cellar. There are shelves lined with alcohols of various values all across the walls. And so these are lining the walls, and we're like, oh, sweet. But then we hear something. That same scratching sound we heard from before, and are acutely aware that we are probably not the only ones in the room. Yes, us being oh so smart, we throw our lovely little glowing rock to the farthest corner of the room. So in a diagonal path across this square room. It lands in the far corner across from us, and it illuminates a dead body of a knight. They have a suit of armor and a partially busted shield, with a crest that we do not recognize. I see the body, I walk over, I see the body, and I immediately say, dibs on the armor. Because our first thing is, we should loot this thing. We get a little bit closer, and the scratching gets louder. Tamegar, being his smart self, looks closer at the body and notices that it is crawling with bug larvae. These larvae are eating the body, are eating away at the corpse, and are stripping the meat from bone. He then walks over to one of the shelves and grabs one of the bottles of wine or alcohol, and dumps it on the body. I forgot to mention something, but while we were in town, we did a little bit of spending, and Tamegar bought 5 tinder boxes for, practical uses. And so he bought these 5 tinder boxes. Tamegar, now in the cellar with us, having poured the alcohol on the body with the bugs, takes out his tinderbox and lights the body aflame and quickly rolls a dexterity check to get out of the way. He succeeds, and the body and bugs light on fire. The bugs are heavily enraged and then split into, was it 2? Yeah, 2 coherent masses of probably millions. Split into 2 coherent masses from the body. And one of them that is currently on fire it was 3. It was 3 coherent masses. One of the masses is currently more on fire than the others, and the other ones go out. But the one that is still currently on fire and burning attempts to light Tamegar on fire. The bugs, and so Tamegar has to roll a dexterity check again to not be lit on fire. He fails, and so I, being my somewhat heroic Dragonborn Paladin, my heroic Dragonborn self of great bravery and good morals, totally, less than chaotic neutral, totally good morals, I quickly tackle him to the ground lightly and extinguish the fire from him by patting him down. I succeed at extinguishing the fire without lighting myself on fire, and we roll initiative. Panning back to the group of 3. They are currently locked in combat with these bandits. This was one of the days when Sunny's player was off doing things in real life and was unable to make it. And so, we're kind of dragging Sunny's character along. That way it is, if Sunny were to come back, he wouldn't have missed, like, we could have easily caught him up, and we wouldn't have left him somewhere. And so we have Urail and D'Angelo currently locked in combat with these bandits. There's 5 of them, I think. Yeah, I think there's 5 of them. And, yeah, there's 5 of them, and Urail having 20 strength and having a natural 20 in strength and a natural 20 in intelligence. Those are her only natural 20s. The rest of her stats are questionable. But her, being her somewhat buff and physically fit 12-year-old self, is currently carrying, while D'Angelo, after, I think, killing one of the bandits, goes down shortly after and starts rolling death saves. He is currently gambling with his life and is hoping to not be the first person to die in the first session. But yes. Then pan back to the group of 4. My group. And so we are currently in the wine cellar having to fight these bugs, which are currently trying to burrow into our skin. The bugs, one pile of bugs attacks me, the other pile attacks Tamegar. Maiko's player had to leave, and so Maiko's kind of just in the room dissociating at a wall. And Bulls is by the entrance of the room. And so the bugs that were attacking me having an armor class of 16, they are unable to pierce through my armor. And so I'm fine. Yes, they're unable to pierce through my armor, and I'm fine. Tamegar, on the other hand, the bugs managed to burrow through his shoes and get into his legs. There are currently 2 little, bug bumps in his legs that are under the skin of his legs. And so, Bulls sees this and has a brilliant idea. I say brilliant because it actually was decently smart, compared to a bunch of other ideas that happen in the next 5-6 sessions. And so, his idea was to take his bow and his arrows and shoot the bugs that are in Tamegar's legs. Sorry, not legs, plural. Leg. Tamegar has both legs, but the bugs are only in, one leg. And so Bulls has that magical idea to shoot Tamegar in the leg. Well, shoot the bug in Tamegar's leg. He has to roll decently high, though, to shoot the bug and not Tamegar's leg, or shoot the bug decently painlessly without hurting Tamegar any extra. Now, Bulls has a +4 in dexterity. Dexterity is his thing. He's good with his hands, not with his brain. He doesn't have much going on up in his brain. But yes, dexterity is his thing. And so he aims 2 arrows, and he shoots both of the bugs. And Tamegar is fine. It's only a light bit of pain, but it could have been worse. And so we continue to fight these bugs. None of us die, and I end up getting a very good hit on one of the bug piles, and it dies. And the pile is so small that it is unable to keep a coherent form, and so the rest scuttle away. After we finish fighting the bugs, we look at the corpse, which is now no longer on fire, and we loot it. Tamegar takes the shield, I take the set of armor. Pan back to the group in the dining room. Don't worry, we're almost done with the first session events. Yes, pan back to the group in the dining room. D'Angelo is still rolling death saves, but he manages to succeed all 3 of them, and he lives. In the meantime, Urail has carried the entire group up to that point, and has managed to kill all but 1 bandit. Urail is currently wounded decently badly and is surviving off of 1 or 2 hit points. If you sneezed on her, she would die. That's how bad it was. But she was surviving and carrying the group. And so D'Angelo gets up and helps Urail kill the last bandit. They then kind of take a rest and loot the bodies a little bit. Taka, then we pan back to the group of 4 in the wine cellar. We're almost done, do not worry. So panning back to the group in the wine cellar. We have finished looting the body, and we then look around because we have a feeling we really do not want to walk all the way back. But we heard screams from the other side of a wall. From the other side of one of the main walls. Okay, so you know how the room is a rectangular square? Sort of. I'm doing this purely for visual-ish. Sort of like this. The room is a rectangular square, sort of like this. And so, the rock, our little glowing pebble, is right here. Bulls is here. Me and Tamegar are around here-ish. And so, with us being in those positions, we take a look around the room and roll for investigation. We managed to find out that it's a false wall. I don't remember what it was that we managed to do to trigger the false wall, moving out of the way, but we triggered it somehow, and it opens up, and on the other side is Urail and D'Angelo. They managed to hear us screaming, we heard them screaming, and we rejoined the group. And that's where it is. We rejoin the group. We all are like, dang, what happened here? They briefly explain it to us, and we end the session there. We have okay, well, thank you for listening to my first of hopefully a series that I will be able to make. I'm going to be calling this series the name of the campaign, D&D on the Sea. And so I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this, regardless of if this one gets a lot of likes and publicity. I'm going to be doing it regardless, since I find it really fun, and I like retelling my D&D stories and seeing and reliving those memories. The thing is that the D&D on the Sea campaign is currently happening. Right now, as we speak. It's currently going on, and there will be more to the story as it continues. So yes, this is the end of session 1. Thank you all for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to hear more about this, or if you did really enjoy hearing me ramble on for how long? A good hour about, and you really did enjoy hearing me ramble on for a good span of time about a D&D story about D&D, then make sure to leave a like and shoot me down something in the comments saying that you enjoyed this and want to see more, or just leave a like in general. That makes my day. Yes, I don't know when this video is going to come out, and I hope that I won't be on a hiatus for too long. So yeah, this will be kind of fun, and I hope that this video does well on YouTube. So yeah, thank you for coming. Have a good morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you. And I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Bye-bye!